The plasma bombardment lasted exactly 14 minutes and 37 seconds. Commander Yask of the Hegemony watched through the bridge's viewing screen as the final traces of the human outpost on Kepler 442c dissolved into glowing slag. The primitive settlement had been an eyesore in this sector for too long. A pathetic cluster of prefabricated structures housing barely 300 humans who called themselves colonists. "Target eliminated," reported his tactical officer, her violet scales shimmering with satisfaction. "No survivors detected." Yask's mandibles clicked in approval. The Galactic Hegemony had been clear in their directive. Humanity was to be contained to their home system. These unauthorized expansions into hegemony space would not be tolerated. The obliteration of this outpost would send a clear message to Earth's government about the consequences of defying superior civilizations. "Prepare the hyperspace jump," Yask commanded. "We return to—" The proximity alarms shrieked across the bridge. Yask's 4 eyes swiveled to the tactical display, where dozens of red signatures had materialized at the system's edge. Then hundreds. Then thousands. "Sir," the tactical officer's voice had lost its earlier confidence. "We're detecting massive hyperspace disruptions. Unknown vessels are dropping out of FTL." Yask studied the readouts with growing unease. The signatures were enormous, far larger than any human vessels in the Hegemony's database. Their technology appeared crude by Hegemony standards, but the sheer scale was unprecedented. "Open a channel to the lead vessel," he ordered. The main screen flickered, revealing a weathered human face. The man appeared ancient by human standards, with silver hair and eyes like chips of ice. Behind him, Yask glimpsed a bridge that seemed to stretch beyond the screen's borders. "This is Admiral Chen Zhang of the Terran Deep Fleet," the human said, his voice carrying the weight of decades. "You have 47 seconds to explain why you just murdered 300 of our people." "I am Commander Yask of the 4th Hegemony Battle Group," Yask replied, drawing himself to his full height. "You are in violation of the containment protocols. Your species was warned to remain within your home system." Admiral Chen's expression didn't change. 32 seconds. "You dare threaten a Hegemony fleet? Your primitive vessels are no match for our technology." 18 seconds. The Admiral turned to someone off-screen. "Captain Morrison, are the Yamato's main guns charged?" "Aye, sir. All 7 batteries ready to fire." Yask felt his blood chill. 7 main gun batteries on a single vessel? The largest? Hegemony dreadnoughts carried 3. "You're bluffing," Yask said, though his confidence was wavering. "Our intelligence indicates Earth possesses no military fleet of this magnitude." "Time's up," Admiral Chen said simply. The space around Yask's battle group erupted in torrents of coherent energy. The Terran vessels, and Yask could now see, there were over 2,000 of them, opened fire simultaneously. But these weren't the crude kinetic weapons or primitive lasers the Hegemony expected from humans. These were weapons that tore holes in space itself, that turned matter into exotic particles, that made Hegemony's shields worthless. In the first salvo, half of Yask's fleet simply ceased to exist. "Impossible," Yask whispered. "Our intelligence showed no evidence of such technology." Admiral Chen's face reappeared on the screen, though his ship hadn't stopped firing. "Your spies only saw what we wanted them to see. Did you really think a species that climbed out of caves and put itself among the stars in less than 1,000,000 years would sit quietly in one system?" Another salvo. Yask's flagship shuddered as 3 escort cruisers vanished in brilliant flashes. "The Deep Fleet has been out here for 40 years, Chen continued conversationally, even as his weapons systematically dismantled the Hegemony forces. "While your politicians and admirals watched Earth's primitive home fleet, we've been learning, adapting, growing." Yask's tactical display showed the impossible truth. The human vessels weren't just technologically superior. They moved with a coordination that spoke of decades of training together. Each ship seemed to know where every other ship would be, creating overlapping fields of fire that left no escape routes. "We found ruins, you see," Admiral Chen explained as another wave of Hegemony ships died. civilizations that rose and fell long before the hegemony ever left their homeworld. We learned from them. We took their knowledge and made it better. This is genocide, Yask screamed as his flagship's hull began to buckle under sustained fire. No, Admiral Chen replied coldly. Genocide is what you just did to New Perth. This is justice. The last of Yask's escorts exploded in a shower of debris. His flagship, the Eternal Dominion, drifted alone among the wreckage of what had been the hegemony's most powerful battle group. I'm going to let you live, Chen said. One ship, one survivor. You're going to carry a message back to your hegemony. Yask's mandibles trembled. What message? Humanity tried peace. We offered trade, cooperation, friendship. You responded with containment protocols and genocide. Admiral Chen leaned forward, and for the first time, Yask saw something terrible in the human's eyes. Now you get to learn why every species that has ever encountered humanity has developed the same word in their language. Run. The Terran fleet began to move, not toward the retreating hegemony flagship but deeper into hegemony space. 2,000 vessels that had appeared from nowhere, wielding technology that made the galaxy's greatest power look like children with sticks. The Deep Fleet is coming home, Admiral Chen announced to the stars, and we're bringing some friends. Behind the main battle fleet, Yask caught glimpses of other vessels, sleek ships with designs he didn't recognize, bearing the marks of a dozen extinct civilizations. Humanity hadn't just been exploring for 40 years. They'd been making allies, finding the forgotten and the abandoned, the species the hegemony had dismissed as primitive or irrelevant. As his damaged ship limped toward the hyperspace threshold, Yask composed his final report. The hegemony had tried to contain a single species, and instead had awakened an alliance they never knew existed. They had attempted to erase one small, human outpost, and in response, humanity had unleashed a fleet that would reshape the galaxy. The worst part, Yask realized as he transmitted his warning to Hegemony High Command, was that the humans had tried to be peaceful first. They had offered friendship and cooperation, only to be met with arrogance and violence. Now the galaxy would learn what happened when humanity stopped trying to be friends and decided to be something else entirely. Something unstoppable.